I had the piece of paper.
You were close, you were very close.
I
You
was.
better write down where to find that.
No, I know now.
Oh, okay.
I'll go through it slower later, I'm sorry.
No, it's fine.
Get you, my apologies.
I
everyone.
apologize for wasting people's time, like I said, because I'm technologically challenged, but thankfully she is not. Welcome to the budget meeting of the 24th of April at 6:17. It's good from here. I'll call this meeting to order. And we are here to discuss some carryover from the other night. And then we'll be having a joint meeting, and I would love to call on you, Jeanette.
Okay, I gave you guys a new salary sheet.
Okay.
So Thursday night, I found out that the board had agreed to $6,000 for the registrar. So I had to add $1,020 to the salaries and $78 to the FICA.
Okay.
And that's the only change there.
The benefit part. So I see that there's no salary for town clerk. It's zeroed. And did the board vote on this the other night after we were done with our joint meeting?
No, there's also no salary for the select board clerk as well.
The other night, you gave us comparison summaries,
Correct.
and you've changed some numbers, you said, before you printed this? Because we
No, I
had,
didn't change it on the comparison.
that's what I,
So it's 0.001%. I mean, 0.001 cents difference on that
Okay.
to the mill rate.
all right, I'm not interested in the mill rate, I'm interested in the totals, the $528,527 versus the $702,866 on the, those are the two comparisons.
Yeah, just add $1,020 to each one of those.
Good.
Thank you.
You said 1,020?
Yeah,
Thanks.
I almost added 100,020, which would have made everybody crazy.
$78 to FICA.
$78.
Correct. So your new total for salaries, Vicki, should be $668,247.
Can you say that again?
You didn't get that the first.
No.
668 247.
She has it
Okay.
right
I got
here.
the
She has it
247.
right here.
If we're adding 1,020 to it, why is it so much higher?
And
I just want to, I don't want to make sure we're on the same page, literally.
It's because
This
it's
is what I'm-
it's 'cause it's with benefits, right?
This is what I added 1,022,
right,
these two. So when
that's
that,
just the difference, Vicky.
all right,
So you would add 1,020 here.
all right. We got.
Okay.
Right church, wrong pew. So, I'm sorry for interrupting. Can you give me those totals again?
Sure. So your total salary, 668,247. So on the third one where the increases and decreases are, instead of 667,227, it's now 668,247.
Did you make any other changes besides that?
Nope, that was the only one.
I think we had quite a little time the other night. And that we had a lot of stuff to think about and review, and I've been doing a whole lot of that. Thinking, reviewing, people calling me, talking to me. I looked into some things myself, and I said I had more questions and answers, and I still have more questions and answers. There was a lot of things said about different towns and looking into how they operate. And there's a lot of different ways towns operate, and there's lots of towns that keep, have a town manager and a town clerk. I know we're here to talk about the budget, the personnel budget. We want to decide what we're going to put on the warrant, and I understand that's our task at hand. But there's a lot of pieces to this as well. I feel like there's a charter questions. I feel like there's, I was leaning towards that. I thought that the people should be deciding this stuff on the town meeting floor, and I have not come off of that stance whatsoever. As a matter of fact, I am more than ever convinced that this is the way to go, to take it to the people. And I believe we should take the bigger number and let the people decide and hash it out on the town meeting floor, because that's where it belongs, in the hands of the people. The people made these decisions that are making this stuff happen now. If the job would have never went from elected to appointed, we wouldn't even be sitting here talking about this right now.
I have a question.
Please.
If you do put the bigger number in, will that preclude the select board from just using a lower number?
No, it won't.
I think it will, because unless you specifically say you will keep the town clerk, then it won't.
But here's the way I thought about that as well. And my opinion would be, we go for the higher number because we have to finish the budget. We have time to work some of that stuff out or to come up with alternatives. And it may not happen, but at the if we go in at a lower number, we're not going to have that option.
Well, if you go in at the lower number, the option is that if the town feels strongly about it, they'll vote the article down. Then they will have to maintain the budget based on last year's budget until they have a special town meeting and approve a new budget, I believe that's correct, isn't
I
that?
believe you are correct.
Yeah.
I've also, I mean, I've heard talk and then, people talk and stuff, but what if it got voted down to 0 on the town meeting floor? Where would that leave us?
That's what I just said.
That's what-
If the town decides to, they'd only be voting this article down. That's the personnel article. They would vote that down, and then the town would be forced to use last year's budget until a new budget was
Yeah.
developed by the select board and brought to the town. So they'd be using last year's budget until they got the new budget. And personally, I think that's a lot. It assures that the next time they come up with a budget, it's whatever the people want,
I believe,
rather than just put the higher number in and say,
Well-
okay, well, we're just gonna use the.
Well, if we were to vote to put the higher number in because we want to send it to the town meeting floor for debate and vote, and the select board chose not to, and they wanted to plug in their lower number, it would be 2 different recommendations on the warrant. So either way, that would have to be hashed out on the town meeting floor.
No, if the town decided to vote for the bigger number, the select board is not required to spend all the money in the budget. They can take the bigger number and just not spend it.
I get it.
But
The
if they're
taxes go up
forced,
still,
if they're forced to produce a new budget, that'll be what we're voting on the next time. I'm just throwing that out. I'm not on
No.
anybody's side here.
But do the
I get
I
it.
taxes
just
still,
want to make sure that
if we go
everybody knows
high-
what we're doing.
do the taxes still go up then for that?
The taxes will be based on
On what's
last year's
approved.
budget for personnel.
Unless we go for
Unless-
the 700 and the 700 passes.
What's that?
Unless the 700 passes.
If the 700 passes, the taxes will be based on the 700, but they won't, then anything that's not spent will go into surplus next year.
But if you look at, the tax rate is going up regardless of how this shakes out.
But it's a question of how much the tax rate's gonna go up. I mean, if the purpose is to let the people decide if we,
Mhm.
now, my position is, okay, there's been some discussion about town clerks versus town managers, okay? All along, I've been saying that we should, if we're gonna have a town manager, the town managers are supposed to be setting up the personnel. They're supposed to set that up. Okay, well, we already decided we weren't gonna do that. We hired a company to come in and do that for the new town manager. Now, if you look at towns that are similar to ours, I'm looking at the study that this group gave to us.
Yep.
Of this study, there's like 10 towns that have town managers. Of that 10 towns, 8 of them have town clerks.
Yeah, I got a list that I came up with too.
And one of them that doesn't have a town clerk, the code enforcement officer evidently is acting as a town clerk. So, I mean,
Yeah, and that's, I mean, I found my list that I had started and I have the 8 and found 3 more of that do. Town manager is a town clerk, Bradford, Bradley, Eagle Lake, they're all here. And then there's ones that you have the tax clerk is the treasurer. And then I mean, there's all different
I
models.
understand that,
It,
right?
it comes down to though, what was given to the select board is a study that showed by the tasks are done by the different positions here. And that's what it was, I think, based on, from my understanding from reading the study, was that they took what each position did to come up with that recommendation. It wasn't like, oh, we have, it was, they're not thinking of the person in the position. They're thinking of the positions in general and how to best save people money.
And-
Because there's a lot of people that can't go up $1,000 in their taxes in 1 year. It's really a
I've been
crappy
trying
situation.
to, I've been trying to think about, I've thought a lot about that as well and trying to take the personal stuff out of it. But the fact of the matter remains that we've had a town clerk who has served this town very well.
We've had a select board clerk, many of them too, that have also
Yeah.
well served him well as two
And I'm,
people who's in their job.
I'm not discounting any of that, but I wasn't aware that when we agreed to field the charter commission and whatnot, that and the way it was set up with the, and the last little words, organization may be changed subject to charter provisions, but the way it's spelled out in this charter that's about to be underway July 1st, and that what these decisions were based on, clearly nobody loses their job. So what
Yeah,
are
and
we,
the town clerk job is
and,
mentioned.
and this is
job.
why I think the people should be deciding it.
And the thousand, you mentioned that you don't want people to go up $1,000. Well, trust me, the difference between adding that extra salary into this budget or not is not $1,000 on the tax rate.
No, it's the
like,
difference
it's
between.
probably like $25 a head or less.
I think it was more than that, wasn't it?
Well, it depends on,
Because it's it's around $100,000 out of a $6 million budget.
The fact of the matter is we have one thing in front of us to decide, and it's really truly in the select board's hand. We don't have that choice to change anything. They do.
No, we don't, but
No,
we
I
have,
agree. Right.
we do
but
have
We
a-
have to approve or
Right.
disapprove the budget.
Right.
we do have a choice of what number is we're tasked with the budget committee's recommendation on the warrant, what that is. All this other stuff
Right.
should get shaken out by the people in the select board because that's their place. But they've raised a whole lot of questions and as you can see, people are paying attention to it. And so I'm not saying it's a good idea, a bad idea, or whatever. It is up to them to carry it through.
Mhm.
And hopefully, I will have a say in that when that time comes. But here we are. I still think the people need to decide this. And I have a million reasons why, and I'm not sure that you all want to share, want me to share that right now. Because we're talking about this.
And I agree that the people should decide, but I think we ought to set it up so they actually do get to decide. And I don't believe by putting the higher number in there is gonna let them decide. Because they can approve the higher number and it can still be done the other way.
That's right, but if situations arise after that, let's say 1,500 people in the town of Lyman come and tell their will is they want this.
You
They
really
want a
think- you
town
really
clerk, they
think that's
want
gonna
this,
happen?
they want that.
You really think that's gonna happen?
It's not up to me to decide if
I know,
it
I'm
happens,
just
it's
saying,
up to the
I-
people
if
to
we do it,
decide
we
if they
should do
really
it.
want this.
If we do it, we should do it right.
Well, I'm not sure what right is at this point.
Okay.
I don't think any of us are.
What do you think?
I agree with Dave that if we truly want to let the people put it in, then because, yeah, we vote the higher number. I mean, we saw this last year. We had, we had on the warrant, select board, budget committee, two different things. We had some that were zero or were no number, and somebody had to put in the number. And that got misspoken, I believe. That number got misspoken and it was voted on. So, yeah, we can vote in the higher number. And if the higher number, the people vote for the higher number, that's great. If the position is ultimately gone, then that is money that we're taking out of people's pockets right now that they could use that.
But it's not guaranteed that it will be gone. If it's in there, then we can lower the number, but we can't raise it. That's my reasoning for putting it in, because what if some minds actually get changed or something, you're cutting it off. You're cutting it off, that opportunity at all. If to my way of thinking, if we do that tonight, because then even if we wanted to change our mind at town meeting floor and say the number was 300,000, but we really wanted 700,000, we can't raise it.
Yes, you're correct.
We can only lower it. So that's my way of thinking about
But we can
going
do two
for
things.
that.
We can't raise it, we can lower it, or we can disapprove it totally.
Do you really think that's gonna happen?
Yes, I do. It's happened before.
I never seen that. I missed last town meeting.
It depends on how people feel about it. If they really feel strongly about it and they vote no, that will assure that something is done. If they vote for the high number, something may or may not get done.
That's right, but the
But that's
opportunity will
just
be
my
there.
opinion, so.
Well, I mean, because we're probably gonna be in this, are we?
I sit here and I remember 2 years ago when a member of the budget committee said that basically he is just waiting to die because his tax rate is going up. Like he almost like that's going to be the end for him is like, okay, I'll just stay here as long as I can. And then I get to die. So I don't have to pay taxes. It's like, I just think that there are a lot of people in that situation versus people that have the money every year to just keep paying taxes for them to go up. And like I said at the last meeting, we did not cut this budget
No,
in any way. We increased it.
yep,
Every line that we looked at, we increased it.
we did. And,
I feel bad that one way we can save is to eliminate 2 positions.
well, how is that gonna help increase the efficiency of the town hall? Putting this burden from somebody else on the people that already work here, that are already working their ass off for us. What,
I agree.
how is
I
that?
agree with
That, I don't
Vicky on
believe,
that.
let me,
But
so,
now somebody's gonna have to do that work, and who's it gonna be?
so in the new proposed charter that is approved, that's gonna start July 1st, it says that the select board is in their right to, put jobs together or add jobs to any way they see fit, basically, except for, well, it says to improve, streamline, or increase the efficiency of town government. This does not mention budgetary reasons. And I think putting the burden of town clerk's responsibilities will cause overworked employees and thus make the town hall less efficient. And these are all my opinion based on things that I'm reading, and the same information that you have. And I, like I said, I'm trying to separate these things, but they're all causing more questions and more subjects that need to be talked about. This whole thing is not just this. And yeah,
For me,
we did raise, yes, we have raised the budget. The budget has been increased. Some lines, as you know, like hogs at a trough, that some of it's necessary. Some of it, I think, is a wish list, but it has been, and it has been approved the last few years. And so all of a sudden, we're worried about the budget that we
It's
have to cut it. There's
It's not
other
all of
places,
this-
other places we could cut it.
It's not all of a sudden, for me anyway, for the last 3 years, I've done everything that I can sitting on this budget committee to lower the budget. So that's not, for me, it's not all of a sudden I want to
I'm-
lower the budget.
Yeah, and I just let me say, you say we've raised the budget, and we have, but look at where the big numbers were. The biggest number that we raised, well, the fire department is an issue, but
That
it's
needs to
something
be
that
done.
we need to do.
That
has
is
to be
And
Absolutely.
everybody benefits
Another
from that.
large increase is the snow removal budget. That went up phenomenal, but guess what? We
We gotta
remove
have
snow.
that.
Correct.
Mhm,
So
Exactly.
I went through this budget and I didn't see any fluff in this budget, or I would have brought it up. I mean, we cut a couple of little pieces, but
Right.
I think basically we have a good budget here. But I agree that we shouldn't, especially now we're just starting, we're gonna get a new town manager who's gonna run the town hall. Now is not the time to be cutting employees. Let's let the new town manager look at it and let him figure it out, or her, whoever it is, figure it out. Do we really want the town manager taking notes at a select board meeting? Because that's what
But
the
that's
select
not
board
That's actually,
what-
does.
that's actually a description in
That's
many
not
of the
for
town
the
manager
budget
jobs
committee
out
to
there.
And
decide.
Because they
approve
take-
minutes.
Yes, that's actually a lot
I
of
don't really
descriptions.
want to be paying somebody $100,000 a year to be taking
That's
notes.
what's in
at
there.
the
But if you
select board meeting.
search through and read it, a lot of charters, a lot of things show that that's part of their job because they're supposed to be attending every meeting. But again, we're not here about any of that. We're here about the budget and what are we going to vote on?
Yep.
Because we're
Well,
going to
we're
meet
here
with
about
the,
this particular
this
part of the
particular
budget.
part of it, and then what
Mhm.
number are we going to choose? The other decisions are not up to us at all.
Well, they are. We do have a say in
Well, I
them.
mean,
As
just part of it, no, we don't have a say in it. We do on the floor. I get that. But right now, so that the select board can make their decisions, we have to.
We have
pick
we have
one.
two choices. We can add in the large number and approve the large number. the select board will probably opt for the lower number, and they'll both be there. And then the townspeople can vote on either one. Or we can, I guess, approve this budget and let the townspeople know that if they don't want this to happen, they have to vote no on that article. That's the two options that I think we have. I mean, I don't know of another option. But I agree, the townspeople should manage it, but my own personal opinion is we shouldn't be reducing employees at this particular time.
I don't feel like, I don't know, the people that I've spoken to over this issue that it came to me, weren't aware that the approving the charter was gonna create job losses for people in the town hall, and they're very much against it.
I
So
don't think
you
anyone
may
knew that.
have some people that don't want to pay an increase in taxes. I don't want to pay an increase in taxes either, but I also feel like I'll do my share because it's appropriate. The town is growing, the numbers are growing, and I don't feel like this is the time to eliminate that. Eliminating that check and balance that the town clerk position has shown to be valuable.
So devil's advocate, if they keep the town clerk and they advertise it and more people apply.
We don't have any
That's just
control
what I
over
mean.
that. We
That's-
don't have
Yeah.
any
That's
control
what I
over
mean
don't
though.
have-
So
yeah.
is it
That's why I
personal?
say I'm
not-
Is it person
It's
or
not personal.
position?
It's not
No,
personal
it's
at
not
all.
Because if it is, then it's just, it's the fact of the matter, anyone can apply. Anyone could
Correct.
run against her
That's
too.
right.
Nothing is
But-
guaranteed.
And
It's just a
well,
responsibility to the taxpayers. You
Yeah.
know, and I understand your point, not cutting jobs, but this is something that the select board has worked hard on. If anyone came to the workshops,
I'm
Well,
not
like I
saying
said,
that I'm
It
not
was sold-
discounting.
It was sold
They
that
taught-
other towns are doing the same thing, and I just looked at, in their own report, 8 out of the 10 towns didn't do what.
if you want a list and you want to look them up, go ahead.
No, I'm looking at it right here. I got the whole list. It's right here.
Yeah, and the
Out
ones
of the
I have.
list Of things that were done, 8 out of the 10 that
It's
have
up to
town
them.
managers are still at town clerks.
So what's your thoughts then? Which one to go with?
I didn't say which one to go with. I gave out the alternatives. I'm not making a
So-
motion. If I knew the answer, I'd give it. I don't
I
know the
know.
answer.
I don't
I'm
think
good at
any of us
making,
do.
asking questions, but I'm not really good at coming up with answers.
Are we able to say whatever we want? Are we, make
No.
a comment or not?
I don't,
No?
at
It's
this
up
time,
to you.
it is really up to me.
Yep.
Well, we're not getting anywhere, but however, I've heard from you, I've heard from you, I've heard from you, but I have not heard from you, Brian.
I think we should make a motion right now, because going back and forth like we're doing is not solving an issue.
That's right. It's
So
raising
we're
more
at- we're
questions.
Pretty much at a crossroad right now to make a decision.
Hmm.
We need a motion either for the larger number, make a motion, see what the vote is, make a motion for the lower number, see what the vote is. Done.
I don't think we.
But if we make a motion,
It's gotta be either or.
It's-
Well, if we make a motion on one and it gets knocked down, then you can make a motion on the other.
Sure.
But you can't make two at once. You wanna make a
Are we
motion?
saying the lower number is 668, 247? For the lower number?
Yes.
Yes, that was what I had.
668,247.
So I make a motion to accept 668, 247 as a budget number for personnel.
I'll second.
is there any more discussion?
Anything?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
There's 3. All those opposed?
Nay.
2. The motion does not, it does carry.
Okay, what I have for benefits is 266,347.
I make a motion for 266,347 for benefits.
I second.
What's this for?
benefit, the benefits part of it.
Is there any more discussion on this?
Give 1 second, I can't, I was, no, I thought I had a question, but I guess I didn't write it down. Nope, okay, I'm good.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed?
Nay.
The motion carries 3-2. And so, it wasn't personal. Wasn't. Why in the hell did you do that? Why would you?
You don't want me to publicly say why. I can chat with you later. Don't make me do it because it's not going to end well. It's wrong. I will explain to you personally.
Well, it just seems that you
I will
say it's
explain
not
to you-
personal, but yet
That's
it
not
is.
personal. That's something else. And I
Well,
can show you on my phone. Okay? You don't want to do that because I don't want to destroy someone's
I'm just
reputation.
asking.
I don't want to
I
destroy
don't
someone's
understand it.
reputation.
I don't understand it.
I don't want
I
to
move
destroy
we
someone's
adjourn.
reputation.
I second that.
Thank you. April, and
We have a motion on the floor, can we?
All right. Motion was what?
Adjourn.
All those in favor?
Aye.
I'll talk to you after. You want to start the meeting for the next one, for joint? You want to try it?
I'm not doing the joint meeting.
You're not doing joint?
I mean, I'm not starting, I'm not running that meeting.
No, I mean, do you want to end the video and restart it because we do them separate? So you
Oh,
can try to
I
restart
thought
it.
we were just gonna leave it on and
No,
let
they
it go,
have, they
roll
have
into
us
the
do them
next.
separately. Like we did last time, so this time, for the title, you're just gonna put that it's a joint meeting.
Yes. Thank you. I haven't touched it. I don't know what she did to it earlier.
She's gonna go start the other one up, so. Dave on Zoom. Yeah. Do you want to do that? I'm getting Dave online here. Or do you want me to come with you? Just hit end stream. And when you hit end stream, the bottom of it says end stream down below in red. Yep, so do that. And then give it like 10 seconds. It's gonna kind of process, say okay. The red button, yeah.
I did think of it.